A day of chill and comedy. Edna and Mildred were sitting in their cozy living room, the sun streaming in through the curtains, casting a warm glow over the space. Both women were comfortably settled into their armchairs, a stack of books nearby, but neither had cracked one open. Today, they had decided, was a day for doing absolutely nothing. Mildred let out a contented sigh as she shifted in her chair, glancing over at Edna with a mischievous twinkle in her eye. "You know, Edna," she said, "I think we should make a pact to do absolutely nothing today. No chores, no errands, just pure relaxation." Edna chuckled, nodding in agreement. "I couldn't agree more, Mildred. A day of doing nothing sounds absolutely divine." With their plan set, they settled back into their chairs, enjoying the simple pleasure of each other's company. The hours passed by in a blissful haze, filled with light conversation and comfortable silences. As they lounged in their living room, reminiscing about old times, Edna couldn't help but chuckle at the memory of a particularly embarrassing moment from her university days. "You know, Mildred," she began, a hint of amusement in her voice. "There was this one time in university when I accidentally walked into the wrong lecture hall during finals week. I was so focused on studying that I didn't even realize until the professor started calling roll and I wasn't on the list." Mildred burst into laughter at the mental image of Edna's bewildered expression as she realized her mistake. "Oh, Edna, that must have been mortifying." Edna nodded sheepishly. "You have no idea. I had to slink out of there as discreetly as possible while trying not to make a scene." Mildred's laughter slowly subsided as she recalled her own embarrassing moment. "Well, Edna, let me tell you about my high school days. I remember my very first presentation in front of the class. I was so nervous that I tripped over my own feet on the way to the front of the room, sending my papers flying everywhere." Edna couldn't help but chuckle at the image of a young Mildred stumbling over her words and scattering her notes. "Oh, Mildred, I can just imagine. But knowing you, I'm sure you handled it with grace and humor." Mildred grinned ruefully. "Well, I tried to laugh it off and make a joke about being the class klutz, but I was beet red the entire time. It's safe to say it wasn't my finest moment." The two friends shared a laugh, reveling in the shared experience of embarrassing moments from their past. It was moments like these that made their bond even stronger, knowing that they could laugh at themselves and each other without judgment. As the afternoon rolled around, Mildred turned to Edna with a grin. "Say, Edna, why don't I stay over at your place tonight? We could make it a real girls' night in." Edna's eyes lit up at the suggestion. "That sounds like a marvelous idea, Mildred. We can have a slumber party just like old times." With their evening plans set, they decided to treat themselves to some takeaway for dinner. They scrolled through various options on their phonies, debating between pizza, Chinese, or maybe even sushi. After much deliberation, they finally settled on a Thai restaurant and placed their order. As they waited for their food to arrive, they popped open a bottle of wine and settled in front of the TV. The aroma of spicy noodles filled the air as they dug into their dinner, exchanging stories and laughter between mouthfuls. It felt good to indulge and enjoy each other's company without a care in the world. With their hunger satisfied, they turned their attention to finding the perfect movie to cap off their evening. After scrolling through countless options, they settled on a feel-good comedy that promised plenty of laughs. Snuggled under blankets with their glasses of wine in hand, they pressed play and let the laughter wash over them. The movie was just what they needed. A light-hearted romp filled with witty one-liners and quirky characters. As the credits rolled and the laughter faded, Mildred let out a contented sigh. "Now that was the perfect way to end the day, Edna. I couldn't imagine a better way to spend our girls' night in." Edna smiled, clinking her glass against Mildred's in agreement. Here's to many more days like this, Mildred. Nothing but good company, good food, and good laughs. And with that, they bid farewell to the day, knowing that tomorrow would bring new adventures. But for now, they were content to simply be in each other's company, cherishing the simple joys of life.